When setting up Nova for the first time, the first step in the process is going to be to deploy our QTID, which allows us to enable single sign-on and also enable the reporting module. When we're connecting a tenant to Nova, the first thing that we do is invite the first user. So the first time that happens, the user who's invited is going to receive 2 emails. The first one here is going to allow us to enable single sign-on for the organization. And then the second one is going to add the user to Nova. And we'll talk about that one in a minute. But we're going to click on the link here to accept our invitation. And we can see that we're redirected to this page. On this site, we want to enable single sign-on by clicking the Leveraging Azure AD to sign in. And here we're going to review the permissions that are going to be enabled here when we are creating the application in Azure AD. And we want to make sure that we consent on behalf of the entire organization. And that's going to enable single sign-on. And after we've accepted, this has installed the Quadratech Platform Enterprise app in Azure AD. And we'll see the screen here. Once we've finished that part of the process, we're going to go to the second email. And again, this is going to add the user to Nova. So we're going to click on the link here. This is going to bring us to the environment that's going to allow us to add the user. So we want to click on My Organization here. And we want to verify that the tenant is connected. So in this case, we haven't connected the tenant yet. So we're seeing what we expect to see. We're going to click on Connect Tenant. So we're going to paste in the prefix and click Proceed. We're going to make sure that we're using the same account just to keep things simple. So we have the account that we started the process with. We're going to review the permissions for the enterprise app for reporting. And we're going to click Accept. Once this is done, we're going to verify that the tenant has been connected. So now we can see that there is a message notifying us that our tenant was connected successfully. And we can check the status here, and we see that the tenant was connected. So at this point, we're good to go, and the tenant is connected to Nova. We're now going to deploy the reporting backend. And to do that, we're going to click on Data Collection. We're going to set our region. So in this case, this environment is being set up in the US region, and then we're going to click Provision. This is provisioning Nova for data collection for this tenant. Now that the data collection has been enabled, we're going to add a service account for reporting. To add our service account, we're going to click on Service Accounts and then Add Account. We're going to specify that this is a reporting account. The friendly name here is, I'm just going to keep it simple, reporting account. The username is we're going to use the same account. In this example, depending on the customer, you may want to add an additional service account for reporting. We're going to put in our password and click Confirm. So at this point, the reporting is deployed and configured. It's going to be a little bit of time here before the data is collected for the tenant. So if you check back here, we should see that the account status has changed from pending, and that would, at that point, signify that we're good to go, and the reports should start showing up in the tenant. At this point, we can see that the status of our service account shows that it's okay, and so now reporting is good to go for this environment. The next part of the process is to deploy delegation and policy control, or DPC for short. To do that, we either will go to nova.quadro.tech while logged in as our reporting account, or you can click on the waffle menu, click Portal, and then click Nova. Once we're on the Nova dashboard, we're going to want to click on Manage Administration in the menu to the left, and then scroll down and click Service Accounts. Once we arrive on the service account page, we're going to click Authorize Management. This is going to install the DPC Enterprise app to our tenant's Azure AD. So go ahead and select our administrator account. We're going to review the permissions that are needed for delegation and policy control. And at the bottom of the screen, we're going to click Accept. The last step is to add our service account. So to do that, we're going to click Add. And then on the right, we're going to hit the drop down, select our tenant from the list. We're going to put in the username and the password of our service account. It's important to note that the account that we enter in here must be a global administrator. And once we have that, we click Save. And it is now adding our service account. This can take sometimes upwards of 30 minutes to test this and validate that everything is good. So we see here our status of testing in progress. Go ahead and take a break, do something else, and then as soon as this is ready to go, this will show that the account is now okay, and you're ready to go and get started with DPC. So I've just refreshed the page, and now you can see that the service account has tested as okay. So at this point, you have successfully set up Nova for reporting and delegation and policy control.